So good morning everyone. Today moving on to the other important concept of this class, that is biotechnology principle and the process. So next is the method of introducing the RNA into host cell. So the method of introducing the rDNA into the host cell. So what do you mean by introducing rDNA into the host cell? So that is the recombinant DNA into the host cells. So what are all the methods that are introduced this rDNA into the host cell? The first one is heat shock method. So first one is heat shock method and second one is micro injecting method. Third one is the biolistic or the gene gun method. One is biolistics or gene gun method. And fourth one is disarmed method. So these are the four important methods where what they will do, they are introducing the rDNA into the host cells. So what are the methods of introducing rDNA into the host cell? That is heat shock method, micro injecting method, biolistic or gene gun method, disarmed method. So all these are the four methods of introducing rDNA into the host cell. Now let us discuss we will understand what are all this all about, and we will study one by one. What are all the heat shock method, what is micro injecting method, what is the biolistic or gene gun method, and what is disarmed method. So moving on to the very first one, it is heat shock method. So what is this heat shock method? Heat shock method of introducing a rDNA into the host cell. So here the DNA is a hydrophilic molecule, therefore it cannot pass through a cell membrane. So the host cell must be made competent. It is done by treating them with a specific concentration of the divalent cation such as calcium. So I'll repeat. So the DNA, as we are here, the DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. So for that only they cannot pass through the cell membrane. So the host cell, they must be more competent. So what they will do, they will made a competent. So how it is made? So it is done by what? Treating them with a specific concentration of the divalent cation. So such as that is a calcium. So that is specific concentration of the divalent cation such as calcium. So that is the heat shock method. So and what will happen? So and this results in what? So this results in the formation of a pores in the cell wall. So there will be a formation of small pores in the cell wall due to the treatment with a specific concentration of the divalent cation such as calcium. As I told, as a result, the small pores are made on the cell wall, as they cannot pass through the cell wall, as the DNA is a hydrophilic nature. So this results in what? When it is treated with the divalent cation such as calcium, so this results in the process of formation of the small pores in the cell wall. So and then rDNA can be forced into such cells by incubating the cells with the rDNA on the eyes, which is what? The rDNA on the eyes, and subjected them to the heat treatment. So hence the name heat shock method. So that is, it is has been introduced to the atmosphere. It has been incubated at a 42 degree centigrade. So it is treated, or it is incubated to at a what? At 42 degree centigrade, and pathing them back to the ice. So this enables the bacteria to takes up what? rDNA. So this whole methodology, what is known as heat shock method. So after treating with the divalent cations such as calcium, which results in what? There will be a process of small pores in the cell wall. So then rDNA is what happen? rDNA is forcibly introduced into the host cell by incubating at 42 degrees centigrade. So what will happen? If they are incubated, the cells with the rDNA on the ice, and then they are subjected them to what? Heat treatment. So that is the heat shock method at 42 degrees centigrade by pathing them back on the ice. So this enables the bacteria to take up the rDNA. So this is the one method of introducing the rDNA into the host cell. So that is known as heat shock method, right? Now moving on to the next method is micro-injecting method. So micro-injecting. So the very word which will tells you that it is a method in which the rDNA is directly injected into the nucleus of animal cell. So it's just a injecting. It's just like a injecting. Hence the name, that is micro-injecting method. So as I told, the very word which will tell itself will give the what? So what is this methodology which is involved in introducing the rDNA into the host cell? It is a method in which the rDNA is directly injected into the nucleus of animal cell. So that is the micro-injecting method, right? Next is the biolistics or the gene gun method. So what is this? And as I told, biolistic, which is also known as what? Gene gun method. So it is a method in which rDNA is introduced into the nucleus of a plant cell by bombarding. Bombarding is very important. So by bombarding the cells with the high velocity microparticles of gold and the tungsten coated with the DNA. I'll repeat. So here in gene gun method, so it is a method in which rDNA, it is being introduced to the nucleus of the plant cell by bombarding the cells with a high velocity microparticles such as gold and the tungsten, which is coated with the DNA. So that is about the biolistic or the gene gun method. So next is the disarmed method. So what is this disarmed pathogen method? So this is disarmed pathogen method. So what is this disarmed pathogen method all about? So here what will happen? It is the method in which the what happen here, the disarmed pathogen vector are allowed to infect the cell and transfer the rDNA into the host cell. So that is about the disarmed pathogen. So disarmed pathogen method is nothing but what? It is the method which disarmed pathogen vector has been allowed to infect the cell and then it is been transferred to the rDNA into the host cell. So after that only it has been transferred to the host cell. So these are the four important methods where they have been introduced the rDNA into the host cell. That is heat shock method, micro-injecting method, biolistic or the gene gun method, and the disarmed pathogen method. Next, moving on to the next very important topic of this lesson, or the methodology and the process of recombinant DNA technology. Next is the methodology and the process of recombinant DNA technology. So what are the steps that are involved in the process of rDNA technology? Now let us study one by one. So what is the first step that is involved in the process of recombinant DNA technology? That is the rDNA technology. So as we know that it involves many steps. The first and the foremost step is the isolation of genetic material. So the first step is the isolation of So the first and foremost step is the isolation of genetic material, that is the DNA. Second is the cutting of DNA at a specific location. So second step is the cutting of DNA at a specific location. Third one is amplification of gene interest using the PCR. Using PCR. So fourth one is the insertion of rDNA into the host cell or the organism. So what we are going to do? Insertion of rDNA into the host cell or the organism. So or the organism. Next is the obtaining the foreign gene product. Obtaining the what? Obtaining the foreign gene product. Next, sixth one is downstream processing. Seventh one is all those things, only this. So first one is the isolation of genetic material, and second one is the cutting of DNA at a specific location, and third one is the amplification of gene interest using PCR, and fourth one is insertion of rDNA into the host cell or the organism. Next is the obtaining the foreign gene product. And next is the downstream processing. So all these are the steps that are involved in the process of rDNA technology. So what are the steps that are involved in the rDNA technology? That is isolation of genetic material, cutting of DNA at a specific location, amplification of gene interest using PCR, insertion of rDNA into the host cell or the organism, obtaining the foreign gene product, and next is the downstream processing. Now let us study one by one what are all these steps. So the first step is isolation of genetic material, that is the DNA. So what is this steps all about? So that is, as I told, moving on to the first step, that is the isolation of the genetic material. So please refer the diagram on page number 202, which will represent the rDNA technology, right? So now let us understand what is this steps is all about. So as we know that the desired gene can be isolated from a cell by digesting by digesting its cell wall using the specific enzyme. So what is the very important here? The isolation of desired DNA. So here the desired DNA can be isolated. So what do you mean by isolation? Separated from the cell by digesting its cell wall by using the specific enzyme. So now let us see what are the enzymes that are utilized for this isolation of the desired DNA. So in the first step, as I told, so this step, as we all know, that this desired gene can be isolated from a cell by only digesting the cell wall using the specific enzyme. So we are using the specific enzyme. So now let us see what are all the enzymes that are being used in this step. those enzymes that have been used in this step. The first very important step is the isolation of the desired gene. So as I told, here the specific enzyme has been used. So the role of enzyme like lysozyme, cellulose, chitinase, so the enzymes like lysozyme, cellulose and the chitinase, so they've been used in the genetic engineering. So what are the enzymes that are used for the isolation of desired DNA? That is the role of enzyme like lysozyme, cellulase and the chitinase, and even one more enzyme called as pectinase. So one more exam, the enzyme that is a pectinase. All these are being used in the genetic engineering. So what is genetic engineering? Manipulating of genes. You can create the genes of your desired. So what is like as I told, what is the genetic engineering? It's just you can alter the gene structure, right? So that is what is being done in the biotechnology. So here the desired DNA can be isolated from a cell by digesting its cell wall by using the specific enzyme. So what are the enzymes that are involved in the isolation of desired DNA? That is the lysozyme, cellulose, chitinase and the pectinase are the enzymes which are quite more commonly used in the genetic engineering. So then the lysozyme. So this lysozyme is used to treat the bacteria to isolate its DNA. So lysozyme is also one such specific enzyme which is used to treat the bacteria to isolate its DNA. Right? Then cellulase. So cellulase is used to treat the plant cell to isolate its DNA. So as we know that cellulase is nothing but a polysaccharide, and the cell wall of the plant cell is made up of polysaccharides. As we know that the plant cell wall is very rigid, which is made up of cellulose. So the cellulase is used to treat the plant cell to isolate its DNA. So the cellulase in the plant cell wall material. And so here the cellulose is the what is the plant cell wall material, and the enzyme that are used to treat that plant cell to dissolve the cellulose is the cellulase, right? So as we know that enzymes are very specific in their action. So as we all know that the enzyme will work in the what lock and key manner. For a particular substrate there will be a particular enzyme which will act on it. For example, carbohydrate, carboxylase; for protein, proteases; for lipid, lipases. So for cellulose it is cellulase, right? Then the next is chitinase. So chitinase is used to treat the fungus to isolate its DNA. So as we know that the fungal cell wall is made up of what? Chitin, right? And it is a very rigid, it is a very hard rigid cell wall in case of fungi. It is made up of what? Chitin. So to treat the fungus, the cell wall which is made up of with the chitin, which what is the name of that enzyme which is used to act upon it? That is the chitinase, and that is the one thing which is being used to treat the fungus to isolate its DNA. Next, in addition of that chilled ethanol, it is also used to precipitate a purified DNA. That is also used to as a additional. So this addition of chilled ethanol is also used to precipitate the purified DNA. And all these are the different types of enzymes that are being used for the very first step of the rDNA, that is the isolation of the desired DNA. So you can see in your textbook for the diagram. So these are the lysozyme, cellulose, chitinase, and other one is the pectinase. See, you can see here this diagram. And you can see this ligase and the foreign DNA, some restriction enzyme cutting both the foreign DNA and the vector DNA at a specific point. You can see vector DNA in the plasmid, ligase, E. coli, that cell divide, the transformation which will be occur, right? So you can see all those DNA, right? So you can see in this diagram how the isolation of a desired gene is being done or separation is done through this process, right? So here you can see this foreign DNA is taken as what? Is taken a vector DNA. You can see that vector DNA, that is a plasmid. So here you can see here this is a some restriction enzyme cutting both the foreign DNA and the vector DNA. So here you can see at a specific point some restriction enzyme has been cutting both the foreign DNA and also the vector DNA at the specific point, right? Then here you can see here this is a what are the diagrams is at a specific point the DNA and the vector has been cutting. So here the ligase will join the foreign DNA to endoplasmid. So as we know that ligases are molecular stitcher which are used to join the which will use to join. So the see here you can see how it is joined, right? You can see this diagram how it has been joined. So here you can see the process of also the transformation. So you can see the process of transformation. So the desired gene is taken and has been isolated. So here you can see that means cell has been divided, right? So this is how the isolation which is going to done. So next is the DNA is isolated from a cell. So since the DNA is enclosed within the membrane of the cell should be broken, right? The cell should be broken to release the DNA along with the RNA and the protein and the polysaccharides and the lipids. So since the DNA, as I told, since the DNA has been enclosed within the membrane of the cell should be broken to release the DNA along with the RNA and the protein, polysaccharides and the lipids. So RNA is removed by treating with the ribonuclease. So as we know that the ribonuclease are the enzyme which will act on the RNA. Then the proteins are being removed by the treating with the proteases, and then the other molecules can be removed by the appropriate treatments. So the purification, the purified DNA has been precipitated by the chilled ethanol. So as I said, in addition to that is even the chilled ethanols are also being used to precipitate the purified DNA. So you can see in this picture in your textbook that is how the isolation is done. And then the process of cutting a DNA. So that is how the first step has been done. So the process of cutting the DNA at a specific location. It is a second very most important step. So the process of cutting DNA at a specific location, that is the purified DNA molecule is cut at a specific location by using a specific restriction endonucleases. As we know that REN. So what are these? REN, it is a molecular scissors. So which will cut the DNA at a specific point. You can see that it will cut the DNA at a specific point. So that is the purified DNA molecule is cut at a specific location by using the specific restriction endonuclease by incubating the DNA with the restriction endonucleases at the optimal condition of a specific for a enzyme. As we know that enzymes work at a particular optimum temperature. So enzymes are nothing but what? Protein. But all the proteins are not enzyme. But as we know that when the protein or the enzymes are subjected to a higher temperature, they get denaturated. So sorry, at a optimal condition, the specific for enzyme sorry, then the desirable gene is isolated by the agarose gel electrophoresis. It is a very important step. So I'll repeat. So here that is the second process, that is the process of cutting the DNA at a specific location. As I told, it is a very important step. It is the second very important step. So the process of cutting a DNA at a genetic that is specific location, what is that? So the purified DNA molecule has been cut at a specific location by using the specific restriction endonuclease. As we know that REN is a molecular scissors. So that is a specific restriction endonuclease by incubating the DNA with a restriction endonuclease at a optimal condition specific for the enzyme. So then the desirable genes is isolated by the agarose gel electrophoresis. Then the desirable gene is isolated by the what? Agarose gel electrophoresis. So and the process is being repeated when the vector DNA also. It is also repeated in the what? In the process has been repeated in, even in the vector DNA also, that is the plasmid. So the gene of the interest. So sorry, the process, as I told, the process has been repeated with the vector DNA also. And so the gene of interest, it is very important, is what? So the desired gene is taken and it is being introduced into the host cell. So the gene of interest obtained from the source of DNA and the cut plasmid, that is a vector which is having a sticky ends, are mixed. That means they are going to mix and the ligase is added to produce the what? Recombinant DNA. So that is what it is done. Told that the ligases is added to produce the recombinant DNA. Ligase, as we know that they are the molecular stitches. If REN is used to cut the specific site, whereas the ligase has been used to join the cut ends. So that the sticky ends of the DNA molecules. So these are the what? As we know that the REN is are called as molecular stitches, and whereas the ligases are called as ligases are called the molecular stitches and the REN is called as the molecular scissors. So whereas RNA are molecular, that is REN is a molecular scissors, as we know that. So this is how the process of cutting of DNA at a specific location. Right. So I'll repeat how it is has been done, how the cutting process will be done. So here the end, as we know that here the purified DNA molecules they will cut at a particular point, at a particular location. How? By using a specific restriction endonuclease, right? By incubating the DNA with a restriction endonuclease at the optimal condition which is specified for the enzyme. As we know that enzymes are nothing but the proteins, right? But all the proteins are not the enzyme, which is subjected to the higher temperature where it will denaturate it. So at the optimal condition specific for enzyme. So then they will get a desirable gene which is isolated by the agarose gel electrophoresis, and the process has been repeated same in the vector DNA. And that is depending upon the gene of interest. It is a what? It is very important. So the desired gene is taken and it is being introduced to the host cell. So the gene of interest which is obtained from the source of DNA, and they will cut the plasmid having a sticky ends at the, and they will going to mix, and the ligase, as we know that ligases are the molecular stitches. So this ligase is added to produce the recombinant DNA. Right. So this is how the process of cutting of DNA at a specific location. So hope you have understood this step. Next is agarose gel electrophoresis process is employed in cutting of a DNA at a specific location. So agarose gel electrophoresis, it is employed in a cutting of DNA at a specific location. So what is the technique? It is being used for cutting the DNA at a specific location and obtained what? So that is the agarose gel electrophoresis, which is the process which is employed in a cutting of DNA at a specific location. So that is how the gel electrophoresis has been done. So amplification of gene of interest using the PCR. So amplification of gene of interest using the PCR. So what is this amplification of gene interest using the PCR? So what is this PCR? That is polymerase chain reaction. That PCR stands for what? Polymerase chain reaction. It is very important. They may going to ask for expansion or the what do you mean by PCR. So that is the polymerase chain reaction for the expansion of PCR in a genetic engineering. So what is this polymerase chain reaction? Now let us understand, and also as I told, it is a very important question. They may ask in your exam. What is PCR? PCR stands for polymerase chain reaction. So it is a process in which multiple copies of DNA of interest is synthesized in vitro using the two sets of primer and the enzyme DNA polysaccharides. So this is now, as I told, this is a very important question. They may ask in your exam. So what will happen? So what is this polymerase chain reaction? It is a process in which the multiple copies of DNA of interest is being synthesized in vitro using the two sets of primer. Two sets of primer and the enzyme DNA, what? The enzyme DNA polysaccharides. So and then what is this primer then? So as we said earlier that there will be a two sets of primer. So what are this primer in genetic engineering? So these are the small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides that are complementary to the region of the DNA, right? So these are the small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides that are complementary to the region of DNA. So these also might be asked in your exams. What are primers in the genetic engineering, right? So these are the small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides that are complementary to the region of a DNA. So this is how, this is the three very important steps which is involved in the recombinant DNA technology, and the remaining steps will be discussed in the later classes.